Good morning, everybody. Hope you can see the slides. Change the date. My God, previous semester, it's 17 today. And okay. Slides? Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So someone said yes. Today's topic is marketing management. And marketing is I gave an example about Arjun Malhotra when he said the most important event in a startup is the moment when somebody is bringing out his wallet from the pocket and making the payment in exchange for your product or service. So that precisely tells us that marketing is very important. Of course, that will make a distinction between marketing and sales later. But when somebody is making payment, it is not marketing, it is payment, it is sales. But then the process that leads to this point, meaning creating an awareness, making product available to the customers, and then understanding when and how and what they will buy, etc. These are all marketing. And when people buy, that point is the sales. You are making the sales. And if you can really create awareness, if you can give them aesthetic sense, then you can attract premium value. That is how you make profit. Like iPhone manufacturing cost is 30,000, whereas they sell it for 80,000. That is the kind of profit that you can make if you understand customers' perception about esteem, etc. I'll start with a little bit about trend. I'll not spend a lot of time. This is I don't know, we perhaps covered it, but in the last semester perhaps I did not. That is why I kept these slides. Today there was power cut ever since I woke up, and I could not do anything. My laptop battery doesn't run for a long time. Okay, trend provides a great opportunity. Like whatever is the trend, if you are ahead of the trend, you enjoy benefit. Like when analytics started becoming popular, those startup who took the advantage of first mover, they became they recruited high talent, top talent, and then they gave solutions to complex problems, and they have grown. And once you grow fast enough and achieve some kind of say momentum, then you become the leader in the market. And leaders always have advantage. They always attract top talent, and they attract customers also, because customers have more trust. So trend, remaining ahead of the trend or maybe at the forefront of the trend, is always advantageous, provided you can exploit that. Suppose you are ahead of the trend, at the forefront of the trend, but then you do not recruit the top talent. Somebody else recruit later, and they will become the leader rather than those who will begin at the beginning, but then will fail to exploit. Now, there are various kinds of trend, like technology trend, fashion trend, social trend, lifestyle, economic, environmental. We'll not dwell so much about that. Actually, earlier I used to have a dedicated lecture on trend, but then I found that there are so many other important things that I failed to complete at the end, so I stopped doing that. So this is a recent trend. It's always better to know what is the current trend, so that if you start a business, definitely automatically will know. But nevertheless, these are opportunities that is knocking at our door at this point of time. Green will always remain relevant, clean energy, organic, etc., etc. You can read them later. There's no point reading them out. Trend is driven by sometimes technology trend, like 5G at this point of time, autonomous vehicle, e-vehicle, then social trend, social change, environmental, economic, fashion, etc. These are the topics that I'm going to cover in marketing management. It will not be possible in one lecture, so let us not spend time on that. Marketing starts from the time you try to identify a pain point. because you want to know what is the depth of the pain, what is the severity of the pain, and what are available solutions, how successful they are to alleviate the pain, etc., etc. So this is part of marketing research. When you try to understand the details of the pain and then details of the solution available, these are part of market research. Then this is market research, this is not marketing. But then marketing starts after that. Once you start building a product or prototype, then you identify people who will be who are your segment, who belong to the segment that you want to cater to. Actually, I prepared a summary of today's lecture, but then I could not send because there was no current. In fact, electricity came, at least I saw when it came, was about time to start the lecture, so I could not send it. I'll send it maybe just before the next lecture. I am actually preparing. Earlier semester I started, but then I could not make many summaries. This semester I will be supplementing them. The last part is the most important. The best product does not always win. This best product does not always sell. Suppose you have a wonderful product. It is better than any product in the market, far better. But then you may fail to sell them. You may fail to put across the word to the right people. Maybe you advertise at a place where none of the people in your segment are watching that advertisement. So product may not sell, but then if you do right marketing, anything can be sold. Like even human poop are sold on internet. You see Amazon and other places, or you just Google human poop online and you will find that people are selling both natural and artificial. Whatever the reason, it is the marketing, it is the narrative that they are giving to customers, and customers are buying their narrative and they are selling, making money. And that is why I say that marketing is relevant at every stage of a venture, like idea, define, prototype, validation. Just like marketing research, marketing also is relevant as at every point of the business. It is more relevant even when you have achieved growth and maybe you are almost saturated. So now you have to change your narrative or improve your narrative so that more increasing number of people become interested in your narrative, in your product, and you attain further growth. There are many definitions of marketing research. I want you to read this one. Philip Kotler. Kotler is the author of the book that is treated as the Bible in marketing management. Any management school offering a marketing not offering a marketing management course. Suppose there is one management school that is offering financial management, even they will have a marketing management course, and Philip Kotler will be the reference textbook invariably. And I like his definition. It's a down to earth definition. We see marketing management as the art and science of choosing target market, meaning identifying the market segment, and keeping and growing customers, meaning you make them aware and then attract them to come to your fold and then serve them sustainably for a long time, meaning you keep them for a long time. And not only that, you entice them into spreading the word to their known people, unknown people, maybe through social media or maybe in a coffee shop or anywhere, maybe conference, so that you have a growing customer base through creating, delivering, and communicating superior customer value. You create superior value and deliver and communicate properly that, look, we have a product or service that is superior because of this reason. Then how you're going to tell where you are going to you can shout in a conference where nobody is interested in your product, meaning they are not the market segment, whereas you just blubber in a marketplace and people who are listening to you are actually looking for a product of whatever you are selling, perhaps you will be able to sell. So where you advertise, where you try to create awareness through whatever means and however you do, that will pretty much determine. I talked about marketing funnel or sales funnel. Marketing is associated at every stage. Means if you try to define marketing, then understanding sales funnel will help you to do that. Like how you create awareness, how you create interest, consideration, like they become interested, they start considering to buy your product, then they express their intent to buy, then they evaluate the performance of your product from feedback from other customers. So they try to know whether this product actually is delivering whatever they are promising, and then eventually they purchase. So at the beginning, what you do is you identify homogeneous people, homogeneous in terms of liking, disliking, needs, etc. So people who need your product, your kind of product, and they're either they have the same pain or they're buying the same product from competitors or something. So they are the people you are interested in. You don't want to talk to everybody. Look at the top line, there are different kinds of people. You don't want to talk to all those kinds of people because reaching out is a costly affair. Like if you want to reach out to 1 million people, you will end up spending some amount of money. If you are interested to reach out 1 lakh people, you will spend much less money. Unless you really do something, some business, is very difficult to appreciate. Even till that moment I started mentoring people, students, teams, I also could not realize that it is such a difficult thing, like reaching out to people and shouting, and telling them loudly enough that look, here is a superior value proposition. Here is a product that is going to satisfy your need and give you exciting experience and value for your money. So you have to identify a smaller group of people who are homogeneous in terms of the needs and who will be interested in your product out of a heterogeneous people. Then tell them a story, or through whatever means, through promotion, through anything, you raise interest, you arouse interest in them so that they become interested in your product. Tell them some story, or through some branding or something, through content marketing, etc. You tell them that we are there and you should come. Then they start looking at the feedback, at talking to other people and evaluate many other products simultaneously, and then they start considering to buy. And then some of them, not all of them, some of them express interest, they start evaluating, and then eventually some of them will buy. So once some of them will buy, your journey doesn't stop there. In fact, if you can exploit those people who are your buyers, you will shortcut this entire process of marketing because they are going to be your evangelist. They are going to talk to people. Look, I have bought this product and I'm amply happy. I'm so satisfied, etc., etc. In fact, most of us, when we buy something, we feel we are, and if we see that this product is better than what my friends bought, then we feel we are smarter people. And then we try to brag about that. We try to talk to each of them and let them feel that I am a smarter guy, something like that. So you have to give them some experience for which they will feel that they are really smarter or whatever. Means they are the winner. People should feel that they are winner compared to others, more winner than others. So they are going to spread the word of mouth, and that will, everyone will bring in maybe 4 people or 5 people or maybe 10 people or maybe 2 people or maybe another. So whatever that is, eventually your customer base increases and they will again spread the word of mouth, and you have a huge number of fan following. And then you don't have to really spend money to acquire customers. There are data about customer acquisition cost, meaning for this entire marketing effort, you have to spend money to acquire just single customer. The literature says, and many blogs also says, that acquiring a customer in some domain costs something like 3 lakh rupees. Just one customer, acquisition of one customer costs 3 lakh rupees. Of course, it's not uniform all across. Like for a e-commerce company, it may not be 3 lakh, it may be say 15,000 rupees. But then you acquire a customer for 15,000 rupees, sell that customer a garment or something or a soap for maybe say whatever, maybe 300, 400, 500,000 rupees. you are not going to make 15,000 rupees of profit. So what is the point of acquiring a customer spending 15,000 rupees? Because there is something called lifetime value. Lifetime value is, if you are an e-commerce company, you have a long-term vision. You don't want to make quick money and run away. You want to be there for maybe 50 years, 100 years, or who knows. So today you acquire a customer for 15,000 rupees, but tomorrow that customer is going to bring in maybe another 15 customers. Those 15 customers will bring in another maybe 150. So eventually you are going to earn maybe 100 rupees out of each of these 150 people. So you are earning 1,500 rupees in no time. Then in their lifetime, perhaps you are going to earn maybe 15 crore rupees out of them. So that is how you spend 15,000 rupees or even 3 lakh rupees behind one person. And let me explain a little bit about networking. These kind of e-commerce companies are networking companies, network based companies. Like suppose you start an e-commerce company. Now you have, say, 5 products supplied from 5 different vendors. Now when a customer will visit your portal, he will find that you have 5 products to choose from and your competitors have 10 products to choose from. So your customer will go away to other portal where the customer has choices. Now some of these people will register in your company and then some of them will buy. So when this number increases, you approach to the vendors, other vendors, and tell them that, look, my customer base, my footfalls are increasing. So why don't you come to my fold? So there will be increasing number of vendors. Now, as the number of vendors increases, the choices of customers increases. So more and more people, rather than going to another portal, will find that you have choices, quite good number. So more people will come. When more people will come, you can attract more vendors to come. When more vendors to come, you attract more people. That is what is networking. Means it's a multiplication game. The more on any side there is more number, on the other side it increases further, and it's kind of goes on and on. That is what is network business. You need to understand that. You need to understand that by satisfying a customer, giving the customer a wonderful experience, that itself will attract more people, and then eventually when you have a huge loyal customer base, you can increase the price and then sacrifice many of the things. Now I said marketing and sales are different. Marketing is all that happens at the beginning till the time customers make purchase. When the customer is about to make purchase, marketing ends and sales begins. So whatever you do to facilitate sales is selling, and before that whatever you do to attract customers and make them do the journey till the point of purchase is marketing. So marketing process involves conveying the value proposition that to the market segment, create value for customers, both perceived and real. This is very important. Like for Apple iPhone, or say for Apple any product, perceived value is more than the real value, meaning esteem is a perceived value. Or it's not exactly that. Perceived value means what people think that it has value. Suppose something looks glittering, then people will naturally think that perhaps this is better. Suppose you are in a shop and some products aesthetics are good, packaging is good, even sheer packaging, the outer packaging is different, you will have some impression that it looks like this company is more established company, and say more, even if you have not seen the brand earlier, but you'll have higher faith on that. So first thing is convey the value proposition to the market segment, then perceived and real, and then build strong customer relationship through storytelling. I talked about Huggies. Maybe I'll tell you again, because I do not have a more compelling story like that. Another compelling story like that. I do have many stories, but then I have to pick and choose. Understand changing needs and choices. When things are changing, you cannot continue to make same effort to satisfy the same customers with the same story. You have to come up with new products, new story, and so that it resonates with their liking, disliking, their persona. Refine or design products and services to meet them, to give customers a sense of high value. I think it's a repetition of number one, but then you can never tell enough about superior value proposition. It's all, everything that you need is there in superior value. Build a strong brand by establishing emotional connectivity with customer, create premium brand equity, and gain pricing power. If you have a very strong brand loyalty among customers, then they will be forgiving about price, forgiving about some of the features that your product may not have. Suppose you are selling some gadget that has 10 features, another competitor's gadget has 11, and the 11th feature that your product doesn't have perhaps is slightly important. But then if the brand loyalty is high, customers will even forego that. They will pay premium price for buying your product. So that is how you create a pricing power, meaning that if you increase the price a little bit, customers will not run away from your company. They will not desert you. They will stay loyal. They will buy your product. Create value for stakeholders and sustain for a long time. Stakeholders meaning your shareholders, your bankers, your many other suppliers, everybody. So if you can keep on creating value for your stakeholders and sustain that, you make a sustainable business proposition. Suppose you are buying from vendors. At some point of time, if you see that your margins are good, if you kind of make a better deal with your vendors will remain loyal to you. That's what Ambani did. He transferred some of the profits to his suppliers. That is how he could guarantee or ensure that suppliers will supply to him only, even at times of stress. When the supply is short, people will prefer to supply Dhirubhai Ambani rather than somebody else. So that's very important about so what are the goals of marketing? I think it's the same slide, but told differently. Marketing helps to know who are your customer, meaning identify your customer segment, their attitude, behavior, needs and belief, and their expectation. Discover their persona. Once you know that these are my people, then you have to analyze them, understand what excites them and what does not, etc. Then you define their persona and come with a story. You cannot have the same story to everybody. So obviously it depends on their aspiration. Aspiration is very important. Know which of their unique needs and aspiration can be fulfilled. There may be many aspirations you may not be able to fulfill. Discover how to design value proposition to attract them, attract new customer by promising superior value, keep current customers, and grow by delivering satisfaction. This is a new thing and very important thing that companies are trying to give so much satisfaction that it becomes a talk of the town, and then they have growing customer base. There are many marketing tools under marketing umbrella. That's what I wanted to mean. May look funny. So one is branding. That is one of the tools through which you create value or attract customers. Then public relation, advertisement, content marketing, pricing, messaging, online presence, social media, influencer marketing, marketing research. You do all of that for selling. So finally, you are capable of selling whatever you produce. That is the objective. That is the whole story about sustainable success of a business. Let us start one by one. Discuss one by one. I'll be faster. We'll talk about, if I have an example, we'll talk about that more than definition part of it. Brand is a container, kind of a container that contains the value that you try to transmit to the customers, the ethics that you have, the promise that you're going to keep, and you show that you have kept your promises. So brand is a symbol, but then it's a container of all those values that customers will think that yes, this anything that is under this brand is safe to buy, is superior value, etc., etc. So you create a brand through a symbol or a word or something. It may be just a symbol like Nike. So whatever you do, you create a symbol or a word or a phrase around which customers attach the values that they would like to. Say a brand is like a channel of communication, meaning through that brand, suppose you have one product under this brand. Now there is another, you create loyal customer base, and then you want to extrapolate or extend that brand for another product. Now the moment that another product is there in the marketplace, that brand communicates to the customers that look, this is another product of the same brand, meaning that you can buy safely. So this also has the same trust, same quality, same features, same efficacy, etc. So it's a channel of communication. Having a strong brands indicate that you have a group of loyal customers, deeper relationship, etc. Now, don't think that brand doesn't mean, this is a mistake that most of the people say. Brand doesn't mean that this is the best product. I repeat, brand does not mean that this is the best product. Brand means this is the best product among this category. Suppose you are selling cell phone. Now you don't say that our cell phone is the best for making a brand, because best phone there are Apple, there are Samsung, there are many others. But if you are making an entry level cell phone for say the bottom of the pyramid, say a smartphone for the bottom of the pyramid that is priced at say 1000 rupees, smartphone 1000 rupees, through whatever means you come up. So that will be the best in this category, meaning within 1000 rupees you cannot buy a better phone in terms of many things. One is trust, one is quality, one is durability, another is maybe whatever features. So within that category, perhaps you say that we offer superior value. Obviously you cannot say that this is a better, this is the best smartphone, something like that. So wherever, like Nirma is a detergent that caters to the poor segment of the population, lower segment of the population. They don't say that our product is the best, but then they also advertise. They advertise saying that our product has high efficacy. It cleans, it whitens perhaps better than anything that you can buy with this amount of money. So that way the brand is a super brand. So any product in any segment will have a leading product. So try to have that kind of a product for your brand to have loyal followers. So for having a brand, you have to make promises, but then you have to deliver more than what you promise. Only then people will have the wow effect and people will actually buy. And at the same time, how you communicate to people. Like you may have superior value and gradually people will come to your fold and realize that yes, this is a product. This going to take huge amount of time to give it a momentum through which you can create substantial number of customers. Best is to really spread the word of or spread the information, the value information that this is the product, so that more and more people who are relevant for you in the segment, they become aware. So this may be, brand may have two distinctly different values. One is material value or rational value, tangible value, meaning what is the quality, what is the efficacy, the features, the price. These are material value or tangible values. There may be intangible values or say emotional values. That is the mental image, how does it look like, and is it a premium product, etc. Esteem. Even poor people may look for esteem. It's not absolutely impossible. everybody looks for esteem. So when they look at Nirma and a local detergent, that Nirma name will ring a bell in their mind. That Nirma, yes, this is a good product. Whereas suppose you have a competing detergent, slightly better, but then because that particular customer has never heard about this brand, that customer may not buy that. So they also want to buy something that they know, they're familiar, they have used it, or maybe they saw the advertisement somewhere. Trust, most importantly, and experience and meaning is emerging like anything. Any product, through any product and service, you can give wonderful experience. So that matters a lot. Suppose you are buying a car and you visit some dealer's shop, and you feel so satisfied about their behavior, the way they give you all the information that is necessary. They even tell you what is the limitation or what are the limitations of their product and how serious they are. They are perhaps not serious. They will not say too serious a thing, but you may feel that these people are trustworthy. And you visit another dealer or another brand, and you find that they're not so much interested to talk so much. They're interested when you are going to give the check. That's it. So you feel very different. That is one kind of experience. Another example can be how you allow people to unbox your product. When they receive the product, suppose you have such a wonderful method of unboxing, meaning they pull one string and everything falls apart, and then the product emerges, something like that. They will say, wow, I never had this kind of experience unboxing a product. So likewise, you can give experience that do cost you money, but that will not give tangible value, but it will give intangible value. But then that first impression will remain for a long time. After opening the product, if they see that, say it's a cell phone, you don't have to put a battery, open a battery and then put it there, etc., etc. You just press a button and it comes to life. So gradually moving forward, they should get newer experiences sometimes, because the first one will remain for a while. So this experience itself will go a long way for customers to remain loyal, and they will be forgiving about many other things. Experience and meaning are almost the same thing. Meaning of a product, like suppose you are selling, say candle. You are selling candle with aroma. So when you come back from office, you put a dim light and put a candle at the corner of the room, and a sweet or a very soft aroma spread across the room, and you feel so relaxed that you get revitalized, you regain your energy. And that gives experience, that gives new meaning to that person, and your product sells at a premium. There are candles that are available in Amazon that is valued about, say, 1 lakh rupees. One candle, 1 lakh rupees. Unbelievable. The cost of production is definitely not more than 1,000 rupees. They're selling for 1 lakh rupees. It has been proven that many customers become passionate on certain brand, though they cannot make distinction in blind test. Why do you like Coke? They won't be able to tell you. They will say this is good, this is better than other drink. Now you give a blind test. You give 5 different brand cold drinks of 5 different brands in a blind test, meaning you don't tell the person which glass contains which brand. Maybe you can even blindfold the person. It's not necessary because the color is almost the same. But then if the color is different, then you blindfold them and then let them take a sip. They will not be able to tell which brand is the best, meaning they will say something, but then this will go haywire. Meaning whatever they say, this is the best. I drink every day because I drink this every day because I like the taste. They will not be able to replicate. By showing association of celebrities, meaning suppose your product is used by either a celebrity or an internet influencer or somebody whom many people follow. So those people who follow them will naturally become attracted to the product. Here I would give some other perspective. Take it with a pinch of salt. Everything in us is driven by hormone. So whatever we like, we dislike is driven by hormone, particularly dopamine, serotonin, and there are many. And you should read before believing me. It's scientifically proven, but then still you should have your own understanding and own validation. And this is very important in the case of branding, in the case of marketing, in case of many other things. Like when you meet somebody, you may dislike that person, but now, or maybe say, suppose, let me tell the other story first. Suppose you like a person. When you meet, in the first instance, you like him. Now, next time you like him, you find something better in him, and your brain will give a signal to that whatever mechanism you have for secretion of the hormone. More and more dopamine will be secreted, and gradually you will fall in love with that person without knowing that you are guiding your brain to instruct you to like that person. It's a mechanism. It's not really something that is happening naturally. Naturally, in the sense, we tend to believe that this relationship is from the heaven or something. It's not like that. It is happening because of a mechanism. It's almost like physics. It's chemistry and physics together. So when suppose you don't like a person at the first meeting, and you find that there is every reason to dislike that person, but suddenly something happens, that person does something good, and you feel that, okay, he does something good, nice. But then next time when you look at him or her from distance, your brain has already secreted some dopamine, and then it will secrete more, and you'll feel that person is good. Now he or she does something better, and then you become more interested, because more dopamine, brain gets the signal that whenever this person looks at him or her, I should secrete more dopamine. And then you become more and more almost like a slave of your mind to become attracted to that whatever. It's not necessarily opposite sex or same sex or human. It can be a product, it can be an animal, it can be anything in this world. It can be a philosophy. It can be whatever, a brand. So when you are telling a story like Huggies, that if mother hug the babies, then the vitals of the babies improves. So immediately mothers become attracted to the person who told this, because the story is good, but then mother tries to associate the whole philosophy with the company who is telling the story, and then say that the more you hug, more long-term bond you create. There is something nice. Everybody wants that. And who said this? Huggies told this. They think that Huggies told this. And then gradually people fall in love with Huggies. So if you want your brand to be liked by people, people are nothing but robots in that sense. Because everything that we do is almost like a robot. I am speaking, my tongue is being controlled by something in the brain. Something in the brain, it's not coming naturally. We think that it's natural. When you raise your hand to pick up something, that muscle gets signal from the brain, and contraction of the muscle is controlled by ions that are there at two ends of the muscle, and that is how it operates. So it's almost like a physical robot without life, without just a computer brain. It's very difficult to make a distinction between a robot and a human. I'm not saying this to motivate you to give a different meaning of human. I'm just telling you that you can come up with a brand, with a story, with a narrative that will attract people the way you want. You can motivate them the way you want, and that is how this, the negative, darker side of it is, that is how terrorists are influencing people to become suicide bombers. Those people, if you have noticed, that they are simple people, they're ordinary people like us without any extreme views. But then the moment you tell something that attracts their attention, dopamine starts working. And then you tell more of them, then more of the secretion happens. and then eventually they want more of it to listen. They would like to listen more of it, meaning they will be listening always those lectures more and more. Like if you visit YouTube, you want some kind of stories and you are interested in them. This kind of people, those who are suicide bombers, they will try to listen more of that. They will try to search more of those contents so that they satisfy them. They think that they are satisfying. They are doing the opposite. So you have to understand what will attract people to your story, to your brand. Design a compelling. That's what I am trying to say. These are all about that. Like Huggies, I have already told you, so I'll not visit. If you have not heard it, you should. And now you will notice that in YouTube particularly, people are coming out various stories of this kind, meaning there will be a drama, there will be some kind of a short video, maybe a minute or so, but then at the end they will send across a message that is connected to the company. And then like chocolate or Amul comes up with newer stories every now and then. Anything happening and they come up. And if you do not know, Amul is the founders, or say owners, let me say owners of Amul are in millions of ordinary milkmen. They bring milk to Amul and then Amul make the products and we buy them. So every time you buy an Amul product, you help those millions of people. They're not they are not ordinary shareholders of other companies. They are the promoter, founder. They get the benefit. It is distributed among them. It's a wonderful story. I'll tell you later at some other point. Today we are already running out of time. So all these, like the story about the Huggies or many other, storytelling is called content marketing. It is known as content marketing. You do. Just a second, I'll take this call. I have booked a car. I have to give him some information. Excuse me. Hello. 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 Chatpot. আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, একটু দেরি হলে কোনো অসুবিধা নেই, ঠিক আছে, ওকে, হ্যাঁ, সরি। So through this story, it's very easy to reach out or easy to influence, like the dopamine thing, the creating love about your brand. And please don't think that I'm trying to influence you to something. If you know how to tell the story that will resonate with the aspiration of the people, you have to trust in that, perhaps. That's what I understand. And many people in society, many people use that. Like China now is brainwashing the Uyghurs. They're using the same storytelling, the same content marketing things. So how successful they will be, that is a different issue, but that is how people tell a story and create fan follower. Even some religions also might be doing it, unsurprisingly. The trend is increasingly moving towards content rather than advertisement, because people are more content is more trustworthy, because you don't directly tell them buy this or something. So you actually tell them a story. You empower them with information that, look, if you hug your baby, you are creating long sustainable value. So through that, you actually advertise indirectly. Whereas advertisement, you are telling people buy this, this is better, that is better, etc. So that is not something that is going to be sustainable or whatever. So advertisement is taken with a pinch of salt by people, because they think that this is paid system of communication, etc. Brand equity. If you have a strong brand follower, then that is highly valuable. That product is valuable, and in the market you can sell that brand at a very high value. Or if your company has a brand that has huge followers, loyal followers, your company value will be very high, because company is the owner of that brand. And in the marketplace, like Hindustan Lever, say Unilever, Marico, Reliance, ITC, Nestle, if you see their value, you will see that their value is different compared to their earning capabilities. Value should be based on earning capabilities. Like if one share can earn 5 rupees in a year, that will have some value which will be half compared to another share that can earn 10 rupees per year. Whereas you will not find this analogy if you take 100 shares, you will find variation. Why? Because many companies have loyal brand followers, and any company who has more loyal followers, their earnings will be discounted at a higher valuation. This is proven, and there are a lot of data. Airbnb started with trust, etc., anything, but at some point of time they wanted to grow faster. They wanted to have more loyal followers, so they tried to understand as to what actually clicks in the minds of the people. So what they did is they analyzed the data, data meaning the feedback. They did a word search on the feedback, and they found belong and they found belong is the word that people in most of the feedbacks, this word featured, belonging, sense of belonging. So they realized that people want to belong everywhere, meaning they want to feel any place as their own place, sense of belongingness. So they started designing their new logo after about they founded it in 2008, but they started this exercise in 2013, after a long time. So the sense of belongingness is the driver of success, of their success. So they wanted to accentuate that through their branding. So eventually they came with this logo called Belong, and that drives the point that you feel this, you get the sense of belongingness anywhere you go. So anywhere you belong anywhere became the mantra. That gives many understanding about branding. One is Airbnb started with 3 broke students, but then they started in 2008, but they recreated them in 2013, meaning that you are never late. You can always come up with a new story, and etc. etc. And that is how they have a premium valuation. The data at the bottom shows that even though they're running at loss, their valuation is sky high. Other companies like Bookings Holding, Expedia, TripAdvisor, they are in profit. Airbnb is incurring losses. I think this data pertains to 2019, not 20. So in 20, they may have made profit. But then, even though they are making loss, their valuation is $40 billion, humongous. So that shows brand valuation, brand equity. Equity is in a way valuation. Equity is a different thing. We should explain it on a different context. Learning from Airbnb. Keep people at the center. People meaning the customer. You belong everywhere. So definitely you keep people at the center. It's not too late to find. Content is the king, meaning what message you give them is most important. The story, that is most important. So obviously, whatever I said, that succinctly conveys that people associate value with a company that they believe that this company is loyal, that company is trustworthy, they keep their promises, etc., etc. And brand gives you pricing power, and you make above average profit. Brand also does another thing. People start talking about that everywhere, meaning wherever suppose you wear a shirt that is made by some new company startup, and it has a logo. The shirt looks very nice. People notice that brand, and people start asking, where did you buy this? What brand? And then you acquire customer without making any effort. So eventually you create loyal followers, loyal customer base. And that is what you exist for, meaning you create value, you give them satisfaction. Making satisfied customer is your ultimate objective. That will make your business sustainable. Sustainable profitability will be brought through that. And then you can extend your product. Suppose you have 2-3 products and good brand, good trust, you can have 10 products. Of course, it's not always nice to have too many products. And brand, as you already know, it can be a symbol, it can be just a word or word and symbol combined, etc., etc. Color is very important, font is very important, it depends on customers, that it depends on the product that you're selling. Suppose you are selling food. So red color is associated with appetizer, meaning if the food looks like, suppose green, absolutely green board with food symbol and all that, people may not like. Food has a color like what is that color, I forgot, but red, normally red is associated with appetizing. So if like say many brand actually put their billboard or their brand etc in those colors. So you need to have a deep understanding of color code and human psychology, through which you can design a logo, and then logo or word and their color, their font, etc. So every font has different meaning. We need to understand. These are all hidden, and we have to depend on professionals, or maybe you can study well. Now see, next is so much so far we have discussed about brand. Now let us talk about public relation is the second item. Public relation is created through some message to the public, either through newspaper or through internet or through social media. So whatever way you do it, maybe through YouTube, you have to come up with a message that captures the imagination of the people. Here is the story I have to tell very quickly. Michael Dubin, he was attending a party in a friend's place. In the party, the friend's father-in-law also was present. So at some point of time, father-in-law approached to Michael Dubin. He said hello, and they started a dialogue. Then the father-in-law, in the course of discussion, just mentioned that, I have a problem now and I am looking for a solution. What is that? I bought huge amount of blades, shaving blades, and now it is there in 2 large warehouses. It is just dumped there, and there is no customers because customers have switched to safety razor. So what do? I don't understand. Can you give me a solution to dispose them off? I'll pay money for disposing off. I just want that my godown should be empty. I cannot dump it in the ocean, dump it anywhere, because it's going to take something like several hectares of land. And who is going to give me that land? Land will become obsolete, means useless. So that's a problem. So Dubin thought he knows that, he knew that any problem comes with an opportunity. So he thought, let me see. He was unemployed at that point of time. So he thought, maybe I can perhaps come up with a solution. So he told him that, don't worry, maybe I can come up with a solution. Give me some time. So what he did, he came up with a solution, and then he prepared a video. And you should see the video. It's a wonderful experience to see the video. He came up with a scheme, like saying that I will send, the video tells people that if you are spending $25 or $20 a month for shaving, you don't do that. Just give me $1. Give me $1 a month. I will send sufficient number of blades at your doorstep. The moment you need, press this button and blades will be at your door. And people started subscribing immediately. So much so that within no time, 25 million views happened. And then he registered several thousand very quickly. So that is how he created. And unless you see the video, you'll not understand that public relation can be done with such a small story. And then eventually Unilever acquired his company for $1 billion. Yeah, within 48 hours, he received 12,000 orders in 48 hours. And then the number increased like anything, and Unilever bought that. Just the idea per se was bought for $1 billion. That is the amount of This is another story I'll tell very quickly.
It's in the Kickstarter crowdfunding platform, Dollar Shave Club.
Come again?
I think the video is in the Kickstarter, the website where we can crowdsource money before launching the product. US based platform, sir.
Yeah, it will be
I think
at many places. Right, Dollar Shaving Club. It will be at many places because now it's a wonder that most of the people try to talk about. This is another story. Right, you are very right. I'm not very sure you have got it. I have just 2 minutes. I want to finish another story. Can you please send me a mail? I'll discuss that in the next class. So let me finish this within 2 minutes. See, Drew Houston came up with a there are many stories actually, with an idea of file sharing. At a time when there were at least 100 file sharing companies and nobody was doing good, even though almost 100 companies were funded by venture capitalists. Drew Houston also gave a presentation before investors. Then they said, we are not fools to invest in a company where we have already, in an industry where we have already invested and everybody bombed. There is no success story. Why should we invest in you? Then he said, no, my solution is different. Most of the companies who are giving this solution, they are giving a inefficient solution. You upload an Excel sheet. When you download that, you find a lot of data are lost. Whereas in Dropbox, nothing like that will happen, and downloading is going to be very fast, etc., etc. But nobody trusted him. Then he also came up with a similar kind of video where he demonstrated how a file is uploaded, how is it downloaded, how much time it takes. It is so quick and no data is lost. Only then people started trusting, and he received in the first day 10,000 sign-ups. So he could convey to the people with confidence that, look, this is not just a story I'm telling. This is a genuine thing. It's just register and see for yourself. So people started signing up. Then there are millions of sign up. I think the present valuation is more than $10 billion. They are more than a decacorn. Similarly, Warby Parker is another company founded by students by accident. There were four friends in an university. They joined just fresh, like IIT in US. Then one friend lost his eyewear. That was a Ray-Ban sunglass, and Ray-Ban sunglass there cost something like $1,000. So he was not so rich, so he was sad. Other friends said, why are you sad? Then he said, I lost it. I won't be able to buy another pair. So I'm kind of sad I'll remain sad for a long time. So they said, this eyewear should not be that costly. Why is it so costly? They did some research. They found that this company, Luxottica, who is the owner of the brand, they have monopoly across the world. So they are sucking people of money by monopolizing this premium eyewear marketplace. If there is any company who emerges as a premier, either they kill it or they buy them off. Like Ray-Ban was a different company, but then Luxottica bought them out. Ray-Ban was a brand that had association with Ranbaxy Laboratories at some point of time, but then eventually they bought it. So they realized that it doesn't cost so much money to make this premium eyewear. So they contacted some manufacturer and they found that they can get it made for 200 rupees and they can sell it for 200 rupees. So they floated a company. They wanted to float a company. They came up with their infrastructure, like a portal for selling. At that point of time, a faculty member from their college happened to know somebody in Vogue journal. Then this faculty member told them that, some team from our college is coming up with a new idea about selling eyewear, which will be of the same quality as of Ray-Ban or Luxottica, but then their price is low. Then this guy came up with a story in Vogue saying that this is the next Netflix of eyewear. Those who read those headlines, they immediately started registering, so much so that they had to stop new registration, saying that we can't take any more customer, please stop signing up, we will change our website and then please try later, something like that. The story, I'll elaborate the story, how they were successful and eventually they became more than a decacorn, and our own company called something what is that? This is a copycat from Warby Parker, but they are also very successful. Those companies founder hadn't decided to spread the word about their company. But then this was Vogue journal, that was YouTube. The other also was YouTube, but look at their story. Their story is very different. Even Drew Houston, the video is available. etc., etc. So you should see all those storytelling. If you want to start a company or whatever, understand more details about public relation, you should see all those stories. Okay, then you get the real feeling about them. Okay, so I'll stop here. I'm already crossing the time. Thank you very much.